Yeah, brother, man. Hey, man, what you got for me, brother, man? James Harden. James Harden is back. James Harden is back.
Listen, I got to give you your props. Hold on, Basil. Turn the volume down, Basil. I got to give you your props.
I ain't got no gasoline.
You made a very good point. So for those who hadn't been seeing the news cycle lately, James Harden not only did not report to camp, Stephen Silas was giving him space. He was going to strip clubs, parties. He was making news for being everything but a basketball player. Everything but being in the NBA, pretty much. So Brendan made a good point, and I still stick to my point, but I like the point that he made. Brendan said, look, dog, James Harden has always partied. James Harden has always kicked it, shown up to camp, and been good. Remember, I think 2 seasons ago, he showed up early, and he pulled a hamstring because James was probably out kicking it. Some players are so talented, they can play around with the game, and they can make it happen. And people thought, and it was spun, like this was outside of the ordinary what James Harden was doing. James Harden didn't do anything outside the ordinary. I'm glad you brought that up. This is what he normally did. But I want to throw this back to you. You know what James Harden did?
What's that?
Or you know what the Rockets did? They stopped protecting him. See, this was common act and common behavior for James Harden. Just take off, show up, be ready to go. That's his deal. Go fly and take vacations right in the middle of the season. They didn't protect him. So when the media said, hey, where's James Harden? We got a lot of questions. They're like, well, we don't know. He's out and about. He's in Atlanta, apparently. He's wherever. They didn't protect him. What do you make of this situation? Because I do like the element of that. He did what he had always been doing. It's not as alarming as we think, but because there's a new coach and all this trades and him wanting to be traded, now it's coming down.
This was dumb. That's what it was. It was dumb. You held out for a day and went to the club to kick it with little baby. And then James Harden has the nerve to talk about he don't like the culture in Houston. Boy, you are setting the culture. What is the culture? Because see, Ryan, me and you both know what a lot of these people don't know. You talked about you heard exactly what I heard. Taking trips in the middle of the year. You heard about when he went to the Bahamas in the middle of the season. You heard that. You heard about the Vegas trips. And he got the nerve to not want the coach to talk about he don't like the culture. You setting the culture. So you hold out for one day to try to get a trade, and you're seen partying at the club, and then you show up a day late. This isn't a holdout. This is poor leadership. And you know what? It might be time for us to say the honest, hard truth. You might not be able to win with James Harden as your best player due to his leadership skills and playoff failures. See, your leader has to set the tone. Your leader can't be the guy that shows up consistently late to shoot arounds. We saw it happening with the Clippers. Guys kept showing up late. It eats at the team. Your leader can't be the guy that...
And they had the most talented team last year. They were better than the Lakers.
Your leader can't be the guy that, hey, man, we got an off day, and all of a sudden he goes to the Bahamas to kick it with Meek Mill. Like, dude, you're playing 40 minutes a night, taking 25 shots. When you get an off day, you need to be relaxing, getting massages, chilling out, maybe just have a nice chill day with your people. But dog, like you're flying across the country to go where, to do what? Like, so when you talk about all this little holdout, this little dust up with James Harden just showed me, he might not be the guy that could be the number one option on a championship level team. He might not be that.
I think he knows it. You don't see James Harden coming out saying, send me to a team where I can have my own team. He's not asking to go to his own team. And Woj had the report saying there was strong interest in the Nets, in Philly, things we already knew, or a contender. Send me to a contender. He's not saying send me somewhere where I can cook.
He can't win in Philly. He can't win in Philly.
Philly. No, so Embiid, let's assume they keep them all together. Embiid, Simmons, Harden. Can't win in Philly. Doc Rivers, put it all together. Daryl Morey in the front office making moves. And for those who, for the record, you have to assume Daryl Morey's on the phones daily, calling, how can I get James? What do we need to do to get James? He probably helped instrument it and said, James, act as crazy as you want because I'm trying to get you. They're going to have to pull the trigger.
There is no, well, I'm not going to say, because I see bad deals done all the time. So I'm not going to say there's no scenario. If I was the GM in Philly, or if I was the GM more than, what should I say, if I was the GM in Houston, there is no deal I'm doing with Philadelphia where Ben Simmons doesn't come back. I'm not giving you James Harden and taking what? Seth Curry and some draft picks? No. If I'm Houston and I'm trading James Harden to Philly, I'm getting Ben Simmons back or Joel Embiid. But I'd probably rather have Ben Simmons. You know, I think Joel's a better player, but Ben Simmons, you know, maybe I'm hoping one day he finds a jump shot, but more along the lines of you put the ball in his hands, build things around him. But dog, like you're talking about getting traded to Philly. Nah, if I'm Houston, I'm not trading James Harden to Philly unless I get Ben Simmons back.
Do you want if you're Houston? Do you want Ben Simmons?
Yes.
Ben Simmons and John Wall?
Yes.
Why?
Yes.
Why would you want Ben Simmons and John Wall if you're Houston? Talk to me.
Because I want the most talent. Because Ben Simmons is talent. It's the same reason why the Clippers signed back Blake Griffin. Okay, maybe he ain't gonna be here 5 years. Hell, he might not be here 5 months. But he's a talented piece that can bring back a lot. He brought back Boban, Tobias Harris, I think Landry Shamet, or the draft pick for Landry Shamet, something like that. He brought back a lot, right? It's the same thing here. Like, dog.
They got a lot for Blake. They got a whole lot.
I gotta get Ben Simmons. If it don't work out, it don't work out. But guess what? If I come to a team next year and be like, hey, dog, I want to trade you Ben Simmons, they'll listen to that. Now, if I come up here talking about, hey, man, I'm going to trade you the 24th pick and Seth Curry, they're going to hang up in your face.
Okay. I'm with it.
Do you? I said what I said. I want to know where you at. So you're not going to skate by on this. Can you win a championship with James Harden, with what we've seen in the playoffs, and how he has been acting? Is he leadership material? Can he be the number one guy? Because James said he didn't like the culture in Houston, and which is weird to me because he is the culture. Then number two, they brought Dwight in for you. You didn't like that. They got rid of him. They brought Chris Paul in for you. You didn't like that. They got rid of him. When Kevin McHale was there, you and Kevin McHale didn't get along at one point. They got rid of him. You know what? These centers we think are clogging the lane up for you, so we're going to go play a ridiculous small ball that no one has ever seen before. We got rid of all of our centers.
Small.
They've done everything for James, and it hasn't worked out in them winning. So my question to you is, can you win with James Harden as the best player on a championship level team?
Right now, no. Everything that he's shown us said no. When I think of James Harden, though, when I see the situation in Philadelphia, does it jump out to me as a championship team necessarily? No. Can it come out of the East? Yeah. That team can come out of the East if manufactured, culture's right, and things work. I think about my feelings about Chris Paul. I did not think that Chris Paul, because of injury and in locker room, I guess, I don't know if you call it lack of leadership or overbearing in the locker room, whatever it was, people didn't want to play for him. Chris Paul went to a place that fit for him. I tweeted this out, and it's a bit of a different scenario, but it's something we've seen in sports, and you talked about this a little bit yesterday. They said, well, why did LeBron and AD work? Was LeBron not overbearing? Was he not changing practice times and doing stuff like that? I said, LeBron and Kyrie were too close. They were too close for, even though LeBron was better, clearly we can see, but they were close enough to where it bothered Kyrie that there was such a disparity, and you were on that team. I played with Kyrie also, between the way Kyrie was treated and LeBron was treated. When Chris Paul and James Harden played together, they were close enough to where they bickered about who's number one here. and they eventually fell out. When Chris Paul went to OKC, it worked out because Dennis Schroeder, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander were so young, bro. There wasn't no comparing. They looked up to Chris and said, Chris, like, teach us how it's done. Chris looked at him and said it wasn't a threat. I want to help you guys out. Come full circle. If James Harden goes to Philadelphia, you would assume, or I would leave the window open, where they would literally have to listen to James Harden and defer to him, because James Harden ain't won nothing, but he's won more than they've won. And it may spur James Harden into a situation where he's got to be a leader. He's got to try to win. He's got to try to do things. So I don't rule it out. I just say everything that James Harden has showed me, he's not been a leader. He came into the league as a sixth man. People forget that. James Harden is great at what James Harden does. He's not necessarily thinking about other players on the team, other people in the organization, because he's like, dog, I go and work out, I get the job done, I take care of business. You've had teammates like this. I had a teammate, I'm not gonna say his name, and he was going out.
Say his name. Say his name. Say
Don't put it like
his
this.
name.
He liked to party on the road. He liked to go out. And I say, hey man, like, take me with you. Take me with you. It was in Dallas. I said, man, take me with you sometime, man. Let me roll. Let me hang out. I want to get in with the vets. I want to be, find out what's going on.
Is this when you were in Charlotte?
Not Dallas. And he said, young fella, you want to hang with me? You can't do what I do and then come back and you can't hang. He was a good vet. He said, young fella, you can't hang with me. This is not going to work out. Stay where you are. I'll see you at shoot around. I'm not going to put that on you. This is for me. That's for you. That's the mentality that James Harden had, and it didn't work out because he was the leader on the team. He was the main guy. The guy who was partying that I'm speaking about, he wasn't the main guy. Clearly, we know it wasn't Dirk.
Oh, no. If it's in Dallas, I know exactly who it was.
So, young
fella, exactly.
Hey, it's not for you.
If it's in Dallas, I know exactly who it was.
Hey, big dog, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Oh, I know exactly who it was.
Either way, though, I know, and this is to James Harden's defense, as people don't know. You know Nate Burleson, right? Nate Burleson, my guy, my bro, big-time NFL announcer, Good Morning Football, does that. I played with his brother, Kevin Burleson. Kevin Burleson played in the NBA. People don't know that. They're a nice little sports family over there, the Burlesons. KB was working in player development because JB was over there, John Blair Bickerstaff, who's now the coach of the Cavaliers. JB was working in player development. People don't know this about James Harden. We always talk about James Harden going to the club. At 2 and 3 in the morning, he calls KB because he goes, KB's there just to work out. KB, let's go to the gym, let's work out. It was very common for players in Houston to go to the gym at 2 and 3 in the morning to get up shots to go get their work in right after going to the club. So was the culture great? No. But it ain't like them guys didn't get their work in, and that's why they won and they had a lot of success. That's James Harden's culture. NBA players don't sleep. So at 2 or 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, James Harden is in the gym getting up shots. Now he's been in the club up until 2, but the rest of the time he's going straight to the gym. That's their culture. So when he don't show up to shoot around, it's not like James Harden didn't get his work in, but James Harden was acting as an individual rather than a team player. Does that change your dynamic when you think of James Harden?
Hell no. You just said he wasn't at shoot around, but he got his work in. That is
now. Don't quote me on that. Don't quote me on that. We're just going on. Hey, I don't know what he was shoot around.
Hey, bro, you slipped up. You heard what I heard. I know. Like you got the same. You got the same reports that I got behind the scenes that he missed a few shoot arounds. Keep it a buck. He missed a few shoot arounds.
He worked out at 4 a.m.
Okay, I don't know if he worked out at 4 a.m. All I know is
I'm telling you, I know he would do that. It was a common practice.
I don't care. This isn't tennis. You don't get to work out at 4 a.m. and then skip a shoot around and be like, it's cool because I worked out at 4 a.m. No, it's not. At 4 a.m., we're not going over the game plan of what we're going to do tonight defensively. At 4 a.m., we're not going over what our scheme is going to be on the offense to take advantage of what this team likes to do from a defensive standpoint. We're not doing that at 4 a.m.
Clearly, at 10 a.m., neither was Mike D'Antoni. Apparently, that's
a different subject. What I'm saying is, you can't skip out on something and say, "Well, I worked out at 4 a.m." That's not how this works. This isn't an individual sport. This is a team sport, and that is why Bron is so much more of a leader than a lot of these other guys. He understands that. He embraces that. So this is what LeBron does that some of these other guys haven't figured out yet. So LeBron will do team bonding things to make everybody feel like they're a part of it, because he understands it's a team thing.
Give me an example. Team bonding, like what? When you play with LeBron, what would he have y'all do?
Team bonding. He might run out the movie theater, and he might rent out the movie theater for everybody to go to the movies, right? Team bonding. In the playoffs, he understood, like, listen, dog, we're not going out, but we don't just want to sit in our rooms all day, right? Mm-hmm. So it was nothing for Bron to rent out a room, not rent out a room, but to set up a room in a hotel with like video games, big screen TVs, everybody come downstairs, kick it, food, you know what I'm saying? Boom, do whatever. You know? Yeah.
Not the team's dime, LeBron's dime.
LeBron's dime. It was not like, dog, we went on. I think this is the dopest thing that LeBron James ever did while I was on the team. We're playing in Brazil. We're a new team, so everybody's trying to get acclimated.
Who chose that trip?
Huh?
Who chose that trip?
It was because Anderson Varejao was on the team.
Okay.
So we're playing in Brazil in the preseason, and you know he's new, Kyrie's new, Dion Waiters. Dog, Bron rents out a lavish mansion. He rents out a mansion for us so we can all go to dinner, because he's still LeBron James. He can't go out nowhere. People still know him, even in Brazil. He rents out a lavish mansion, has a chef have come in, like multiple chefs. They are chefing up like this phenomenal 4-course meal, like everything, man. And then, like I said, man, we got hey, man, we had like some video games set up, everything you want, like everything you wanted, games, TVs, watching sports. Like there was like whatever we wanted to do, but we did it at this lavish mansion, had a DJ in there playing music. It was the coolest thing ever. Because Bron understands I got to bring everybody together. He's like, man, I want everybody to come. So the guy, so you know how
big fella, what you do in the mansion, big fella?
What I do in the mansion? I ate the food and chilled out and played video games. Like, what do you want? What do you want me to say? Hey, what do you want me to say? Hey.
You did say you're in Brazil, baby.
Nah, chill out, man. It wasn't that type of trip. You know what I'm saying? Like, no, LeBron's a family man. Come on, man. You being disrespectful. And so, dog, you're literally you
were
a family
single.
man.
You were single.
I know, but this wasn't that type of party. He rented out the mansion so that we could all kick it. Like we almost had like our own little personal party. It was incredible.
Whoa, Rob. Whoa, Rob.
Whoa, Rob. Whoa, Rob.
Rob.
See, that's why we don't mess with Robert Too Cool.
Easy, yeah, Rob Too Cool.
Yeah. And so that's what I'm saying. Those are the type of things Bron does, because you're never going to see Dion Waiters out at dinner with Mike Miller. But we were all there together. So like me, Dion Waiters, Mike Miller, Kyrie, Tristan, Bron, everybody's there, and we're cooling out and we're just getting a chance to vibe. Bron understands how to bring everybody together. Some of these other guys don't understand that. They worry about themselves. And they're like, yeah, I just worry about myself. Like that's what happened in LA with the Clippers. You know, Paul George and Kawhi, they worry about themselves. And the team never felt like they were a part of it. So you know what happened? There was resentment there. There was never – the only person that probably ever resented Bron was Kyrie. Everybody else didn't. Nobody else resented Bron.
Let me ask this. I don't know –
hold on, time out. Mama Holland's in the building.
Hey, Ma. Okay, hey, Ma. Hey, Ma. Hey. Where you at? Let me ask this. We try to connect the dots on what's going on there with LeBron and Kyrie, and we can all understand it, but like you were there. So do you feel it's valid for everyone to feel, do you think it's valid for Kyrie to feel the way that he does about LeBron? Because let me read these transcripts to you. Because LeBron finally rebutted on the Road Tripping podcast. LeBron says, I was like, damn. Once I got the whole transcript, I was like, damn. For one, LeBron is so goated, he'll hear a podcast or something and read the transcripts.
Hold on a second. Time out. that can't be overstated. That shows you how smart Bron is. Bron understands media. So he understands media will take a soundbite and a clip and make it look a certain way. So he won't react to the soundbite. What he'll do is he'll read the transcript to make sure I got every single detail of how this question was asked and how you responded to it.
Yeah, dog. Like, he hit him and said, I got the like, no one else thinks like that. Like, I got the transcripts. What? All right. He said, I was like, dang. James said, adding to make sure before reading Kyrie Irving's comments before reacting to them. I was like, oh, you tripping. I've hit game-winning shots my whole life. I was like that. I was like, dang, because I played with Kyrie for 3 seasons with the Cavaliers. The whole time I was there, I only wanted I only wanted to see him be an MVP of the league. I only cared about his success, and it didn't align. It just didn't align. And we were able to win, a championship. That's the crazy thing. We were still able to win a championship, and we could never align. But I only cared about his well-being both on and off the floor. And it kind of hurt me a little bit. Accurate or not? Are you buying LeBron's statements, fam? Are you in on this?
I'm in on it.
Are you calling? Hold on. How's the word? Are you calling cap?
No, he's in on it. He's in on it. I do believe Bron wanted Kyrie to be the MVP. Like, I do believe, because I would see the mentorship. I remember there was a game in Utah where Kyrie had 0 assists. And after the game, Bron is sitting there talking to him about why. Listen, you can't leave a game with 0 assists. You're supposed to fall into 3 to 4 assists by accident because you got the ball in your hand so much. And Kyrie was like, well, I kicked it to this guy. He was open and he missed a shot in the corner. He's like, I don't care about that. At some point, you were supposed to spoon feed Tristan for a dime. You know what I'm saying? At some point, you were supposed to find somebody to get an assist to. You have to, and so there was this big brother, little brother dynamic where Bron was trying to teach Kyrie how to win and how to be a pro. But I'm not sure if you ever did you ever watch the show The Wire? You watch the show The Wire? Mm-hmm. There's one episode where Marlo Stansfield is talking to Prop Joe. And Prop Joe, you remember Prop Joe was the big time drug dealer, had to connect. And Marlo he taught Marlo everything, and Marlo turned on him and stole the connect. And Prop Joe was like, hey, Murray. And Prop Joe said to Marlo, he said, I treated you like a son. And Marlo looked at him cold as ever and said, but that was never the role for me. That was the problem. Bron wanted it to be big bro, little bro. Kyrie never wanted to be little bro. He always wanted to be the big dog. And eventually, he got tired of that role. And that is why he ended up wanting to get traded out of Cleveland. If you go back and look, even when he wanted to be traded, Bron told them, don't trade Kyrie. We'll work it out in the offseason. Don't take a bad deal just to get him out of here now. And they did the deal anyway. But that's the dynamic that I'm seeing play out between Bron and Kyrie. Bron always looked at Kyrie as a little brother. Kyrie always looked at him as an equal.
That's deep, fam. I just, and I know there's always 2 sides to a story. There's your side, my side.
Hey, fam, they said you. Hold on, fam. They said you capping. They said you've never watched The Wire. They said Ryan.
I absolutely did watch The Wire. I can't recite every darn thing that happened on The Wire, but
they said Ryan didn't watch no damn Wire.
Fam, hey, HBO now. It's hard not to watch The Wire now. I don't always like to judge. I don't think that they should be beefing out like that, but I think there's obviously there's more on the table than we see when it comes to LeBron and Kyrie's beef. I think LeBron knows more than he's leading on here in this situation. I do think that he wanted him to do well, but Kyrie to continue to go on and feel the way that he does, I don't think there's any accident behind it. I don't think there's too much of an accident behind the way that he feels. It is intriguing for me to see that it's still going on, that LeBron, wanted to rebuttal. I'm sure it was a well thought out answer, but it doesn't seem as genuine because I'm pretty sure there's more to be addressed by this. Let me ask this. Did LeBron need to respond? Because Kyrie actually went out and said, only thing I was saying, and I can understand this, and I think it was a little bit of both from Kyrie, if I'm being honest. This is my opinion. He said he was only talking about instilling the confidence in Kevin Durant. Like, I'm not thinking about LeBron. I'm talking about how I like Kevin Durant.
Cap.
So when he went to back it up, you think it was just he just put the story out. I think it's a little bit of both. I think he does have confidence in KD, but I think he absolutely knew what he was talking about with LeBron. Because LeBron, everybody questioned LeBron's offensive skill set, but LeBron still finds ways to make things happen.
I think that did I think that he knew that he was talking about LeBron? Yeah, because Kyrie's intelligent. Kyrie's highly intelligent. People think because he said the world was flat, ha, 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 that Kyrie's not intelligent. Kyrie's intelligent. So I'm not going to even put it on him that he didn't know, because that would be an insult to mine and his intelligence. Kyrie had to know how that was taken. And if he didn't know, he should have known. And so LeBron should feel a certain way about this. And I think that if I'm Kyrie and I really didn't mean nothing behind it, I'd reach out to Bron myself. Dog, it wasn't meant like that. Blase, 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 and keep it moving. That's what you do. But see, it's obvious that Kyrie has made this statement, and him and Bron still haven't talked about it. If you really, hey, listen, hey, listen, man. Hey, remember, hey, there was an old Jadakiss song back in the day. I know you a Kiss fan. This tells how old we were. They're talking about two ways. Jadakiss said, "Don't try to apologize on your two ways. Sympathy don't amuse me." Like, dog, like, don't, like, let's grab a Uzi and we can make a real movie. Like, dog, like, don't try to apologize to me through the media, or don't try to say the media made this up. If you understand the ramifications of what you said, hit me up. Hit me up and be like, listen, dog, I know how they're trying to spin it. I was just trying to say that, listen, dog, I believe in Kevin Durant this much. And you know what, man? If you took it a certain way, I'm sorry, dog. Like, it's not a shot at you. You know what? Bron wouldn't have said nothing. But obviously they haven't talked about this. And if they haven't talked about it, Bron has to assume that these were shots fired. These were, once again, rocks being thrown at the throne. And it's par for the course. When you on top, everybody want to see you fall. But for 17 years, this dude just ain't failed.
I think LeBron has to take accountability, because there were some things that he had done poor leadership-wise. I don't think LeBron has ever been the perfect leader, but
nobody's been the perfect leader.
Yeah,
I played with LeBron.
Right.
I played with LeBron. I played Michael Jordan. Neither one of those guys is perfect. They lead differently. They get results. Nobody is a perfect leader.
Absolutely. I just think, like you said, the main thing that you just said, those two haven't talked. There ain't no conversation. They ain't kicked it. They ain't spoke. And like I said, I don't know how deep this thing is, because I hate for someone to go, "Oh, Kyrie, you bugging. Kyrie, you bugging, blah, blah, blah." For talking about Bron and saying this and saying that. Like, you don't know why that man feels the way he feels. There's clearly something behind that we may not know and maybe don't need to know.
But that's why they got to talk it out, because Bron has every right to feel the way he does. Just imagine if all of a sudden you see me this year calling games, right? Because if y'all don't know, I'm doing pregame and postgame for the Washington Wizards this year. You know what I'm saying? Hey, your boy that came up. Hey, man, listen, man. I got to go ahead and get some extra change in the house, right?
Hey, man. Hey.
Imagine you turning on a broadcast of me doing a Wizard game, and I talk to my co-host, and I say, "Man, I ain't never had a co-host that understood basketball like you, man. I never had a co-host that was as basketball savvy as you. Boy, you be at home like Brendan. Hey, listen, not only would you be mad, boy, Mama Cinch would disown me. Jan would disown me. Jan would be madder than you, and you know that. Your wife would be madder than you. And that's what I'm saying. Like, if I know that just talking about us on what we do as far as our podcast and stuff. You think Kyrie don't know that as far as talking about hitting game-winning shots and how it relates to Bron, and the fact that everybody there's a false narrative that has been created that Bron is scared of the moment or doesn't want those shots? Like, he's hit the most clutch shots in NBA history, just so people know. Bron, but listen, off the top of your head, Bron got more game winners than Kobe in the playoffs. I know, rest in peace, Mamba mentality. I'm not talking trash about Kobe. I just need the people to understand how the narrative has been spun. Bron's scared of the big moment. Well, he's hit a lot of clutch shots. A lot of them. Like clutch shots against the Toronto Raptors, bank shot off the glass. Clutch shot against the Pacers and Victor Oladipo, 3 at the top of the key to win the game. Clutch shot way back in the day against my Wizards when he walked on the baseline, the little layup. Well, let's say that's not the clutch shot, but it still won the game for him. It was a layup.
He won the game.
Hey, he still had to make the play. Clutch shot against the Orlando Magic from 3. Remember the year we hit the big 3 at the top of the key?
Double pump.
And him and Bergeron was grabbing him. You know, clutch shot against the Chicago Bulls where he drew up the play in the huddle and shot the 3 in the corner. Like, dog, let's not act like Bron don't have clutch. Clutch shot against Paul George in the Pacers, caught the ball, bodied him, left-hand layup going down the lane when he was playing for the Miami Heat. Bron has clutch shot after clutch shot after clutch shot. Let's not act like this dude ain't hit clutch shots before.
And Kyrie hit the dagger, you know? Kyrie hit the dagger. Let's chime in on something else that LeBron James said.
What'd he say?
He's talking about the Clippers. How they blew a 3-1 lead to Denver.
They did that.
He said they put themselves in a position to get what they had been talking blank about all year. I just didn't see them losing. Did LeBron need to say this? Is he spurring up? And like you said, LeBron is very intelligent. Shout out TC to hit it with the badge. LeBron is very intelligent.
I love it.
LeBron had to go out and say this.
I love it. You know why? Bron realizes there's 10 rules to this game, but I'm going to share with you too. Know that people going to hate you for whatever you do. Like, that's an old proverb from the philosopher Tupac Shakur. And so, hey man, I've been listening to a lot of old school rap today. If you can't tell. Hey, I've been listening. Doing my workout. I was listening to old school rap all day. I ain't listen. Tupac, Jadakiss. I was ready to lift the gym. Is what I'm trying to tell you. But what I'm saying is, Bron is getting older. He ain't biting his tongue no more. Like, dog. Like, when I don't say nothing, y'all still kill me. When I win a championship, hey, listen. When I win a championship, the talk the next day is why I'm not better than Jordan. Like, do you know how draining that's got to be? You win your championship. Every time he wins a title, the very next day is he better than Jordan? And there's some people coming on TV talking about how he's not this and how he's not that. He is tired of it, man. And so I have no problem with Bron being like, yo, the Clippers were talking that trash all year long, and they ain't get there. Hey, you think Bron didn't know that Kawhi's commercial was trolling him with the King keychain? Oh, you gonna troll me and you're not even gonna get to the game? You're not even gonna get to the series to play me? Boy, sit down. You're not on my level. I love Kawhi. He ain't on LeBron level. He's not on LeBron's level. He has a chance to get there. If he beats him, but like, dog, like, you had a chance to come play me. You weren't on my level. Like, dog, the clip. Hey, what did Pat Beverly say? Oh yeah, it's our city now. Boy, sit down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, dog, the Clippers were talking crazy. They were talking greasy. They were talking like they were talking real aggressive. And then it was time for them to put up or shut up. And all they did was shut up. They didn't put up anything.
Do you think that's, and obviously we talked about leadership. Appreciate you, Hitter. Appreciate you, Hitter, for real. You talked about leadership. And obviously there's no comparing. But Kawhi's in a situation where when he was with the Spurs, he didn't have to do anything but play defense and get buckets. When he was in Toronto, great culture. Kawhi Leonard, defend, get buckets, and just do you. And we'll pass and share and rotate and do all these things around you, Kawhi, and just be you. Defend and score. 3-and-D guy. We don't need much, but be a 3-and-D guy. And a little bit of a star, obviously, because he'll take the last shot. So I don't want to say only 3-and-D guy. when you look at Clippers Kawhi, he should be a leader. Like, where or if how is Kawhi Leonard dropping the ball? Because I'm missing this leadership part of the puzzle with Kawhi Leonard that separates him from LeBron or puts him on the same plane as LeBron, because LeBron is his competition. As you talked about, team bonding, just something simple. Clearly, the Clippers weren't bonding. Clearly, Kawhi did what he had to do. Clippers were looking at him and getting jealous and envious, and then Paul George was like, well, if Kawhi got it, I got it, because I'm making that same type of money and my free agency is coming up. And if I bounce, you ain't getting nothing for me. You brought that out earlier in the week. Where do we start holding Kawhi Leonard's leadership accountable?
We don't, and we shouldn't. See, there's an unspoken rule that's unfair in sports. The unspoken rule is that your best player has to be your leader. That's not always the case. Kawhi at one point was the best player on the Spurs, but he was not their leader. Their leader was still Tim Duncan, Manu Ginobili, Tony Parker. He was never the leader of the Spurs. Kawhi was never the leader of Toronto. Kyle Lowry was the leader of that team. Kyle Lowry's going to get a statue in Toronto. So basically, this is what happens a lot of times in sports. People get a certain amount of money or fame, and they think automatically, oh, they got to be the leader. Well, if he ain't been leading his whole career, you think he all of a sudden he just got paid on a Tuesday and turned into a leader on Wednesday? Let me ask
this. Let me throw this to you then. Maybe you say Kawhi doesn't have to be a leader. His lack of leadership has caused dissension in the organization. This is not a team that was set in and just said, Kawhi, do what you do. We'll work around you, fam. So, like, because now maybe you don't have to be a leader, you got the ball rolling in the wrong direction if you Kawhi Leonard. And now Paul George is hopping on board. Trez is upset. Lou is going to Lemon Pepper Lou went to Magic City in the bubble. Like, well, Kawhi, you ain't got to show up. That's what we on. Doc is fired. He got the ball rolling in the wrong direction, Killer. So is there a level of accountability for someone of his stature?
Kawhi didn't get the ball rolling in the wrong way, in the wrong direction. When we talk about culture, yes, your star helped set the culture. He's helped set it, right? But every great organization has culture set from management on down. The Spurs are great because R.C. Buford on down. Miami is great because of Pat Riley on down. But what happened was, see, the Clippers, they wanted to beat the Lakers so bad they sold their soul to the devil. No. Walk with me. And what I mean by that is they threw away everything that they had already built culture-wise. They threw away everything that they know works in traditional basketball history as far as team bonding. They just said, hey, we want you, and you get to do whatever the hell you want to do. At some point, management has to say no. See, I'm going to walk you down a lane of what happened in Miami. Bron got to Miami and said, hey, dog, I want my boys to be able to fly on the plane. Pat Riley said, that's cute, but they ain't flying with us. Bron said, hey, I want my family and friends to sit right beside the bench. Bro, you know just like I know. Bron's family and friends used to sit by the other team's bench. I used to always wonder, why Bron's mom sitting down? Like, remember him and the Nike execs, all the people, like, that used to come to his game? Randy, I remember I used to talk trash to Randy because he used to sit right by our bench. What I'm saying is that from a cultural organizational standpoint, the Clippers were so thirsty to try to jumpstart this thing and turn it around that they didn't realize at some level you can say no. Like, listen, dog, this ain't good. It's kind of like a child. I have an 8-month. My daughter's 8 months, right? There's certain things where we have to tell her no, so that she will learn in the future. They never told Kawhi no. They never told Paul George no. So they just took as much as they could until the team couldn't take it anymore. I don't blame Kawhi. I blame management and whoever is running the team did not understand that you just can't throw personalities and balls out there together and think it's all going to work. You got to set the tone.
And here's the pecking order. Doc set the tone. Doc had the culture in place. I was there. I worked with the Clippers. I saw intimately. Doc was cool. He was doing his, personable thing. Guys play hard. Obviously, there was a little dissension, everybody's going to be upset. You got good players around you. There's going to be little stuff there, but there was a pecking order, and it worked. You had young players, you had old players, you had role players, you had guys with a chip on their shoulder, you had guys who want to prove themselves, and it worked as well as it could work. I think arguably the year prior with Doc Rivers was his best job coaching. When they lost to the Warriors, it was his best job coaching, and the only way they lost is because Kevin Durant was playing like the best player on the entire planet, on planet Earth. That's how well KD was playing. That's how they lost. When Kawhi came in, that power that Doc had clearly left. Because when it hit the fan,
they did strip Doc of GM duties.
That had been done prior. That actually helped the situation out. Because now, I played when Doc was GM. It was scary to even talk back to Doc or have a discussion or minutes-wise, if you played bad, because you knew this guy could trade you or waive you or sign you however he liked you. So every day you came in nervous, like, yo,
hey,
am I running the play right? Like,
remind me to tell you a story about Doc Rivers' tradability. One of my guys got traded. It's a funny story.
But I bring that up because now Doc wasn't judge, jury, and executioner, and that worked. Maybe it wasn't perfect, but it worked. Now Doc is fired. Kawhi was all powerful. He was to blame, but it created a very bad situation, fam. And that's why I bring up the situation. Are we ever going to look at Kawhi? But you're saying look at the organization. Kawhi is being who Kawhi is. So was that a poor move or you know what I'm saying? What was it like? Like, because now, like you didn't win. The Clippers losing, that was arguably one of the worst performances in sports history. As far as like this, it was one of the most disappointing performances in history. Like that was up there with the undefeated Patriots losing in the Super Bowl, fam. Like,
it ain't that far.
It was horrible. It was up there.
It ain't that far. And listen, the Patriots lost a close game. The Clippers played terrible for a full series. But I will say this:
that's kind of worse. They had to get lucky to beat the Patriots. The Clippers just watched it happen.
The Clippers did drop the ball, and I think that's why they're going to do things differently this year. But I will say this, though. I love the fact that you talked about Doc Rivers when he was the GM and the head coach. I don't think any coach should ever again be GM and head coach. Were you on the team when Antoine Jameson was on the Clippers?
Fam.
Hold on. Were you on the team when Antoine Jameson was on the Clippers?
Fam, listen.
So you know the story I'm about to tell.
Dog. I was there. Hold on. Let me. You want me to set the scene and let you tell, or you want to tell it?
I want you to set the scene of how Antoine Jameson and Byron Mullins got traded on the plane that day.
Jump in whenever you want to. We're flying out. We're playing Atlanta, right? And we know the trade deadline is up, but we practicing like nothing. So we all walk in like, all right, we here. We got to practice, fam. No big deal. Obviously, we not going nowhere. So we have a quick practice. We head to the plane. We get all our stuff on. You shower, you rush to the plane. It's a straight through practice. Deal. Like, dog, we go to get on the plane, and it's like awkward. And Blake Griffin, DeAndre, CP, Matt, they would all sit up, and Matt would be on the outside of the table gambling. And, like, all of a sudden, like, something going on because guys are, like, whispering. Like, on the plane, we're not talking loud, we're whispering.
Yeah.
And back there, Doc is just on the phone. Yeah. And he's talking.
Hey. Well, hold on now. Now, you got to tell that you forgetting. Your flight was supposed to have been taken off. They're holding the flight. They're holding the flight, and they're lying to you guys, talking about there's bad weather in whatever city you're going to. Guys are checking their phone like, ain't no bad weather. It says it's clear and sunny.
They holding the flight up, dog. This persists for, might have been 30 minutes. It felt like 2 hours, fam.
They held the flight up for 30 minutes.
It felt like 2 hours.
Hey.
And we're sitting there and everybody's nervous. We know that there's rumblings. They've been trying to trade DeAndre Jordan. We know Blake Griffin back to OKC potentially for like Serge Ibaka and something weird. Like we know CP is good. Like I'm like, golly, like this is my second year here. Like everybody, Jared Dudley sweat. Like everybody's sweating. Bingo, dog. Go ahead. You can finish out, fam.
So the report comes through. This is how I got the story. The report comes through. Antoine, somebody's like, yo, Antoine, you got traded. And Twan was like, what? And so Twan goes back to Doc like, dog, did I get traded? Doc's like, I don't know. No. Doc told everybody we was pretty much good because he didn't want people panicking or whatever. He actually called Byron Mullins and Antoine back to the plane. And you talk about going into the principal's office, fam. And like, I felt so bad. I don't know if I've talked to Twan since. I gotta think if we talked since. I know he saw him somewhere. Twan gets traded. I try to be the good teammate. And I'm like, hey, Twan, it's a blessing in disguise. They're gonna probably use you. You get more minutes. It'd be opportunity, man. No, that was the last time he ever played.
Boy, they bought him out. And that was it. Oh, I felt so bad. He didn't reply to me. And Twan is my guy. Like Twan always took care of me, fam. Antoine James always took care of me. He didn't even reply to that one. Oh God. Mully went to Philadelphia.
Yeah, but I think this is the thing within the story that I got is that when Doc called him back there, he was like he was real vague about the trade. He was real vague. And so Twan was like, dog, like, are we traded or not? And Doc's like, I don't know. I don't know. Like, what do you mean you don't know? Well, then he was like, hey, well, just ride on the plane and we'll figure it out when we get there. Man, I ain't flying all the way to another city and I might be traded. Like, dog, that was the craziest story ever. Like, that's why you can't have a coach be the GM and the head coach. It's too much power. It's too much power.
He signed Byron Mullins to be the stretch five to complement DeAndre Jordan that we never had. He said, forget Ryan Hollins. He signed Byron, and Byron Mullins was the guy getting pushed to the forefront. That was his signing. And then he benches Mullins, not like you're not starting anymore. Like Mullins was completely out the rotation. Then keep in mind, Mullins was signed that year, fam. Because now a coach is thinking emotionally in Washington going like, nah, I'm not playing you. Like, you're not playing. And it's not going to work. Dog, true story.
Yeah, it's wild. It's wild, man. Hey, man, we went over our time, man. Let's kick it for Big Man Bias, man. We got a special Tuesday night football game tonight, so I'm going to get up out of here.
Absolutely. Let's shout out these badges, man. You guys have came through. For one, you guys set a record yesterday for badges. Yesterday was amazing. Shout out Robert, Too Cool For You has been wild. He's been wild in the chat. My brother James, Straight Edge Guy, who corrected me and I almost messed up. Rich Ellie Comedy has been doing it. Shout out Coach D from Temecula, who's doing his thing, coaching him up. He's back in the building, man. I know he's been taking care of business. Ansby, the first lady in the chat, and TC, the hitter, man, who's coming through with the straight fire today. What up, TC? Appreciate you, boy. Time for Big Man Bias, where we answer your questions, your comments, and your concerns. If we forget what you said or something that you put in the chat or you want to chime in on a question, now this is the time and opportunity, man. This is your favorite time of the show. How about Colt McCoy, though? To replace Spencer Calls.
Colt McCoy plays for the Giants. He started a quarterback with Daniel Jones out and they beat Seattle.
I'm big on second chances. chances.
Colt McCoy is not better than Dak, and Colt McCoy won't be starting as soon as Daniel Jones gets healthy, but he played very well this past Sunday.
If KD had the leadership LeBron has, he would be the better player, hands down. No, Kevin Durant is not a playmaker. Kevin Durant is a scorer. So you have to – LeBron creates the whole system. You plant LeBron in any organization and you win because he makes everybody better. You don't do that with Kevin Durant. You put pieces around Kevin Durant, and Kevin Durant's really good. That's the difference.
Yeah. Somebody said Rockets making the playoffs, and James Harden stays. I can't see why not. Anytime James plays, he finds a way to make it in.
Can we talk some NCAA hoops?
Hey, Coach D, it's early for NCAA, fam. I know Carolina playing right now. I got to get back and watch that game as well. It's so early in the season. It's hard to tell who's going to be good. You got like Kentucky getting beat by like some of these teams that aren't.
Did Duke lose the other day? Got upset?
No, Duke lost to Michigan State. Though Michigan State's good. You know what I'm saying? But Duke still lost. But like it's so early in the college season. We don't even know who's good yet. Last year heading to the tournament, Dayton was going to get a 1 seed. No one knew Dayton was good early on in the season. Why you feel that CP3 didn't want to go to the Lakers and play with what? And play with that
play with
contract
LeBron. Well, CP made too much money. CP's not about to accept the buyout. So it's not that he didn't want to play with LeBron. Yeah, those guys want to play together, even though they really don't fit together. But he's not taking that buyout. Chris is smart. Like, you ain't about to buy him out that money.
It's his last hurrah. He got to get every last down due to him. Who y'all got tonight? Dallas or Baltimore? Come on, man. You can't bet on Dallas at this point in the year. Dallas has proven to be very unreliable this season. Too many injuries on the offensive line. No Dak Prescott. And their defense acts like defense is optional. No, Baltimore's going to win.
Keys with the fire.
What do y'all think about Alex Smith doing what he's doing with the football team? I think Alex Smith is going to be he's going to be the comeback player of the year. The fact that this man had to have like double-digit surgeries on his leg just to save the leg and then come back and play football and play at a high level, every time I watch Alex Smith play, I think it's just a blessing that he's out there.
What's the craziest thing a friend has ever asked you to invest in?
Oh, man, I had a friend that was like, hey, dog, I want you to invest in my rap label. I was like, what? Like, yeah, man, like you put the money in, like, we're gonna get the studio and and I was like, hey, fam, I love you to death. Ain't no damn way in hell I'm investing in no rap label. Especially, it's like my 3rd year, man. I ain't got money to burn in no rap label.
I want to say one funny one. My boy asked me. He said he wanted to start a licorice company. Completely random, fam. He said licorice. He was like, licorice. And he was adamant, like, licorice. I was like, dog. I said, okay, compose me a business plan and give me some estimates of where the company's going to go. I never got those estimates. But he was adamant, licorice. Licorice, man.
I think I had somebody want me to like, like invest in like a twerking website. It was something crazy. It was like when twerking first came out, like, dog, like, yeah, man, hey, we could be the first ones on the scene with it. I'm like, nah, I'm good.
You would be the first ones.
Yeah.
Hey, Rob, help out with that?
Hey, that's a classic. Hey, that's a classic episode of Martin right there. Rent 'em spoons. Oh yeah, Jan Holland's in the building. Hey, I'm gonna start calling her 6-figure Jan. Hey, I got a chance to watch half of y'all's date night last night. I'm gonna watch the other half.
You really watched that, bro?
I watched half of it. I'm gonna watch the other half on Wednesday because there's nothing on TV. So I'm gonna watch the other half. You want to know why I love watching date night with you and Jan? Because every time Jan talks, you look at the camera like this. Like you look like blink twice for help. Like you look so. I love the other when Jan gets a little bit of that wine in her, man, and get to talk and have a good time. I love how uncomfortable she makes you when she starts telling stories. I love it. But I am going to let you know, Ron, I'm disappointed in you.
What I do?
I'm disappointed in you. I know that you always talk about how cheap you are, how frugal you are. But come on, dog. When you were dating Jan, trying to get her, you took her on a date to McDonald's.
No.
Boy, you're lucky she entertained you. You're telling me your second or third date was to McDonald's? Bro, how do you take somebody on a McDonald's is not anywhere where you take somebody on a date to. McDonald's is just somewhere where we hungry, so we stop by McDonald's. You don't plan to go to McDonald's like, yeah, I'm about to kill her. I'm about to get dressed up, pick her up, and then we just gonna go, we're gonna go to McDonald's, man. I'm gonna go get the chicken nuggets with the sweet and sour sauce. We're gonna sit over there. We're gonna sit, by the window, you know what I'm saying? And if she act right, I might get a McFlurry.
This fool really watched tonight, man. This fool really watched.
I can't believe, you took Jan to McDonald's? You're lucky she's your wife. You're lucky that she would even have you. Dog, you took your wife at one point to McDonald's on a real date? Who does that? That is a no. That is That is the next level of dog. Oh yeah. And, oh man, Jam might have got lucky and McRib was back. Did you let her get the McRib? I don't even know what type of meat that is, but it just magically comes back once every 2 to 3 years. Dog, what is wrong with you, dog? You took your future wife on a date to McDonald's? Boy,
That's
know
not
no shame.
completely accurate. We
went
through the drive-through.
Keith, he wasn't a millionaire at that point. He was in college, but still, even in college when I was going on dates, right?
Be careful.
Listen, dog. No. I was in college. When I would go on dates, I went to places that were affordable for me, but I would still go to Applebee's. I would go to maybe Lone Star Steakhouse, Red Lobster. Those were nice places to me at the time. That's what Brendan Hayward, TGI Fridays. If I was taking a young woman that I liked on a date in college, hey man, let's go to Fridays real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Let's go to Applebee's and chop it up, man. I like the ribs there at that point, But what I'm not gonna do is take her through the drive-through at McDonald's. Have you no shame?
We had something to do. It was a time crunch. It was a time crunch.
Boy, I wish I had 15 more minutes to get on you about this. You didn't even have the decency to take Jan into McDonald's. You just drove her through McDonald's, huh? Boy,
our first date was at El Torito, fam.
But I'm from the East Coast. I don't even know what El Torito's is. What is El Torito?
It's like a kind of a bit of a chain, but a Spanish restaurant, but it's like really big. And they have that Sunday brunch with the all-you-can-eat, fam.
I've never heard of a Spanish place with an all-you-can-eat brunch. That's interesting.
Yeah, all you can eat.
Oh, listen, man. I'm about to go watch the Cowboys-Ravens game. First of all, check out the podcast. We just dropped it yesterday. Andre Drummond's going to be on there. Listen, great episode. He talks about his battles with Joel Embiid. He talks about how he became one of the best rebounders in the league. Go check out the podcast, iTunes, YouTube, Spotify. Go check it out. And Ryan, man, go make Jan a nice dinner tonight. You owe her for taking her to McDonald's. Dog. In my darkest hour, at my brokest, I never took anybody to McDonald's. I never took anybody to McDonald's. No. You lucky Jan saw something in you. You lucky she stuck with you. She saw something in you.
I had on a 5X Sean John shirt with the Sean John jeans.
Yeah, man.
The 5X.
All right, man. I'm just so disappointed in you. I'm so disappointed.
All right, man. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
I'm logging off. I'm not even saying bye. I'm just logging off.
Hey, man, we'll see y'all tomorrow. Appreciate y'all for rolling through, man. Obviously, Brendan is disgusted in me right now. Hold on, man. Let me take a picture of these badges, man, because we got to shout out the badges. Y'all have been rolling with us. You guys, like we said earlier, set a record for badges. Brendan in rare form as always. Shout out TC the Hitter, man. Make sure you go follow, like, subscribe, show major love. Ange be the first lady, man. Rep out with her. Coach D is doing big things in Temecula. My brother Rich Helly Comedy. Follow and support these guys. Follow and support our guys and our gals, man. We stick together. We got a community. Shout out Straight Edge Guy and Robert Too Cool. And guys, the one thing I love is like OG, we were talking the other day, and he was like, yo, when I post or I do something, like the chat just shows major love, and y'all rep and support. And like, I love the community that we building here. So appreciate y'all for coming through, man, and hanging. But no, we'll see you tomorrow. And whatever news breaks, whatever happens, we're going to be right on top of it. Peace.